Majority of swimmers train alone or without a coach on poolside providing coaching and tips.
Which often means that these swimmers have no idea what they're striving for in terms of technique, or what they're doing for that matter. It becomes a guessing game, trial and error, and very often results in ingraining poor technique. But Form Goggles have come up with something incredibly smart that could change all of this, and we want to try it out.
So in case you're not familiar with Form Goggles, which I've got here now, they have an augmented reality display within one lens of the goggle, which can give you real-time feedback on all sorts of useful metrics, such as the distance you're swimming, so you don't forget how far you swum, your stroke rate, your pace, your splits, and so much more, including even being able to follow workouts within the lens of the goggle. But I have to admit, I did not see this latest feature coming from them, which is essentially real-time coaching in the lens of the goggle, which they're calling Head Coach. Hey, see what they're doing there? It basically gives you feedback in real time on your technique whilst you're swimming, but also post-swim for further analysis. So naturally, we want to test this. But honestly, there's little else I could do to improve my swimming. No, all jokes aside, rather than having all the fun with this, we thought, why not find someone that is genuinely passionate about the sport and could really benefit from using a set of goggles like this and have a lot of fun with it. So, welcoming Belinda, our camera woman. Hey, well, you're the star of the show now, Belinda. You got to come on in. Come on.
How's it going?
Hey. So you've had a busy year of racing, haven't you? You did the European age group middle distance champs.
Yeah.
Which went well.
Yeah.
But I guess more specifically, how was the swimming?
It's just a bit disappointing. I thought I was going to do a lot better, and this year it's been two of my worst swim results. So I don't really know where I've gone wrong. Like, I just came out of the water, looked at my watch and gone, what?
No.
Like, how is that possible? I've got like 5 minutes on kind of what I expected. So yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, we've spoken about this obviously in the office, which is why I thought you're perfect for this, and we could really try and help you. And I guess this is something that a lot of people will relate to. They probably put a lot of time into swimming. You're plowing up and down the swimming pool day in, day out, but you don't really know what you're doing, do you? Like, and when was the last time you had someone looking at your stroke or advising?
5 years ago when I was doing swimming club swimming, but even then you're in such a big group of people, you don't really get that one-on-one feedback.
Yeah, and then also, you then go away and try and practice it, but what you think you're doing isn't necessarily
it's
what...
Totally different.
Like, I've coached people in the past that I've told them that their arms are crossing in the centre, yet they thought their hands are right out to either side. So, I'm going to pass these over to you now. So, set of Form Goggles with that head coach function in there. Hopefully, with the help of these, we'll break through that roadblock that you're experiencing with the swimming. So, you're going to head away with your swimming. In the meantime, I'm going to run through how the head coach feature works. Right, so the plan is for Belinda to use these goggles for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and hopefully we're going to see some improvements in her technique over that time. But obviously, as we all know, these things don't happen overnight. Particularly if you've been swimming for some time now, you're probably going to have ingrained some incorrect and poor technique in places, and that does take some time to adjust and to correct. So how are these goggles going to help Belinda? Well, obviously, they've got an accelerometer in there that's going to detect movement of the head. That works in conjunction with a very fancy algorithm, and that will be able to detect the movement and 5 individual skill sets. So we've got your head roll, which is basically how much your head is rolling and moving from side to side when you breathe. Your head pitch, which is basically how your head is positioned, how much it's angled up and down. We've got set pacing, which is basically how well you pace yourself through an entire set within a workout. Then we've got interval pacing. That is how well you pace yourself within an individual interval, so per length. And then finally, we've got time to neutral, so how long it takes for your head to return back to that neutral position. Now, when activated, these goggles will start analyzing and collating data for those skills, and you can check that all out in the form app and analyze it thoroughly afterwards. But also, you can actually get real-time feedback, should you wish to, in the lens of the goggle while swimming. So to do this, you can select the head coach function at any point when swimming and a skill to focus on. The goggles will give you visual feedback on what you are doing and what you should be striving for. For example, with head roll, you can see a very simple graphic, 2 lines, and the idea is that you keep the indicator between those. Simple, but effective. As I've said, you can switch this on or off at any point within the swim that you like, but the goggles will actually continue to capture all that data so that you can actually analyze it in the app more thoroughly post-swim. Now, not only does the app actually allow you to analyze this more visually, it also gives you a rating or a score from 0 to 100 for each of those skills. So you can track your improvement, and the app will collate all of this data from swim to see how you're improving on that score for each individual skill. Now, also in addition to those head coach skills, we've also got the form score. Now, this isn't actually anything new, it's been in the format for some time. It's basically your overall swim efficiency. But obviously by improving those individual head coach skills and their score, we should see your form score and overall swim efficiency going up too, if that makes sense. Right, anyway, probably time we go catch up with Belinda, see how she's getting on.
Hey Belinda, how are you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad. That was a good swim.
How are you finding the goggles?
Yeah, really good. I thought they were going to be really disorientating, but to be honest, your brain adjusts quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I get quite motion sick anyway, but that was alright.
How's the head coach? Have you been trying it out?
Yeah, so I was trying it out and it's not good news so far, but it means a lot of room.
What's it identify?
So it's the head roll, and I know that I breathe kind of all over the place. So
you kindly actually gave me access to the app before you jumped in and swam, and I can confirm your head is all over the place. No, it's not that bad really. But what's interesting is ordinarily I would jump in here now and give you tips and advice on what you need to do. But I'm genuinely intrigued to see what happens if we just leave you with the head coach in the goggles and let's say let you go for the next 6 weeks. Then we'll regroup and see it go on.
Nice.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Just finished my first session with the head coach feature and pretty impressed, to be honest. Felt like I went away and I've actually learned something about my stroke, which is the first time in quite a few years really. It was great. I feel like definitely it teaches you and picks up on things that coaches wouldn't be able to see in the water, and you get automatic feedback because you're following that dot, whereas a coach, maybe every 50 that you do, that's when you get your feedback, and they wouldn't be able to pick out tiny little details like that. And every length you do, you get a score of how well you're doing on the skill. So every length you want to beat it, which is really good, really motivational. And I know the last swim I think I got like 36 when I wasn't focusing on it, but I think I did 10 50s focusing on that skill, and it went from about 36 40 to 73 75 up to 78. So already a good improvement, and each 50 or each like rep that you do gives you a little, that was really good, or you need to do better. And it also gives you little cues such as don't tilt your head up or keep on goggling the water, which if you do most of your training by yourself, which most triathletes do, you don't necessarily get that. So first session, absolute success.
So it's the first day after using the head coach feature in my foam goggles, and I'm just getting ready for a ride. My traps are so sore. I don't know if it's partly because I'm using muscles that I'm supposed to be using for swimming, or I just went a bit hard. GTN towel, goggles, need a hat. This is all swimming hats. It's crazy. It's too much choice. This one, better get going. Well, all best plans and that, just got to the pool and it's closed. Apparently we don't have enough lifeguards, so time for a gym session in my Crocs. That was a good swim session. I'm not sure what my form score for that was.
So off for my second swim today.
did my first 100 mile on the bike yesterday, so I'm feeling a little bit sore, but just using this as a recovery session, and interested to see if I jump in the pool and the skills are immediately still there, or do I have to kind of refresh myself on how to breathe properly in the water. Cool, let's get to it. Typical Belinda fashion. Forgot my goggles. About to turn around. Banana eating. Goggles retrieved. Hopefully we'll actually get in the water and do some swimming today. So I just got back and had something to eat and looked at the difference in both of the sessions. And the first one I averaged 46 for my head roll, and this one was 66, so very clear difference. And to be honest, I did feel it in water following the dot. Every time that I got over that line, it was almost like putting the brakes on. Like I could feel, oh, I actually do slow down when I have my head too far out of the water. So really keen to get back in the water and see how much more I can progress, really. So I think I'm going to struggle the next couple of weeks just getting in some swims, because unfortunately I'm here in Kona. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. All jokes aside, it is going to be a bit tricky fitting in those swims. I'm going to try and, jump in the ocean with the form goggles, test out the open water features, and perhaps get in a pool if I have time, but it really is a bit of a busy week ahead. So at the moment just doing some filming, but pretty proud of my place to swim out here. So just finished filming some bits in the open water and off on my next film session, and some 25-yard pool, so it'll be interesting to see how it deals with different pool distances. But at how sunny it is, I'm already a bit this could be a bit dangerous. There we go. Just finished the section. Got Heather joining me. Not every day you share a pool with a Olympian, put me to shame a little bit. But yeah, good session, quite busy though. I didn't get to concentrate that much on the actual technique and feel like it wasn't the best. But hopefully when I get back into the pool and the guide session, it'll be absolutely flying. So I've just been out for a swim, shooting Heather and an age grouper. And I was noticing on the way back, maybe to my left, seems a lot smoother. And like my left is my dominant side to breathe onto. But I noticed a difference in my breathing where I was keeping my front of the head in the water and one goggle in, one goggle out, a lot more than I normally would. So yeah, super happy with that. It's just my catch and realised it's day 7 of us shooting up here. The schedule of shooting is slowly picking up massively, so swimming is actually quite hard to get in at the moment. Try my best though. So it's 6:30, heading down to a little beach about 10 minutes away. Yeah, and hoping to get a little 20-minute swim in. Hopefully it's not too choppy, so I can get some good technique practice in. Managed to get a kilometre swim in this morning. Coming out was a little bit sketchy, and we were talking to one of the people at Swift who said they stepped on the sea urchin and spent the whole night just removing the spines from the foot with tweezers. So I was quite scared. I was quite scared, but survived with only a small scratch to my leg and no sea urchins, so we're all good. But yeah, definitely feeling like I'm swimming better on my left side, but just feels like I was a little bit choppy. So yeah, still wasn't a super smooth swim, but I'm hoping all of these tough swims will make the one, the first one back in the pool at home, feel creamy and smooth. So no rest for the wicked. The day after Kona, I flew up to Glasgow in Scotland and visited some old mates. The plan was to go run up Ben Nevis, but unfortunately it was a mega weather warning up there. So to avoid avalanches, we went up a smaller mountain, but I did also get some swims in. As you can see though, bit of a culture shock to go straight from Hawaii to Scotland, and I was freezing. Who'd have thought it's actually sunny in Scotland. I've just been for an easy-ish swim, focusing on technique, and it was in a different pool. I've never tried out, so that was interesting. But I found the inconsistency of where I'm swimming is not helping me with my technique that much, because I'm kind of looking up and around a little bit more when I breathe just to see where I'm going, which isn't great. But like I said earlier, I hope when I go back to the pool I'm used to swimming in that I'll just be following a black line that I'm used to, and my breathing will just kind of click, and I'll see a massive difference in between the start and where I am currently with my breathing. It is interesting though, like with the goggles, I thought, how much can you really get from a pair of goggles, like technique wise, because it's literally just measuring your head moving. But this session kind of proved that there's a lot riding on your head position. Like if my legs started sinking, then my breathing would compensate for that. Like if I wasn't breathing fully out, then that would affect how much I was rotating to breathe to get more oxygen in. All right, swim, looking forward to going home. I've only got 1 week at home before I'm off again on another shoot. Like these couple of months have just been a bit mad. So yeah, 1 week of consistency before it's scarpered again, but is what it is. At least I'm trying. Just driving back from the swim, and I thought I did quite well. And then I went and looked at the form school, and it said otherwise. So this time I focused on my interval pacing, and that was really interesting because I was doing this set where it's like kind of a reverse pyramid, and I thought, my pacing is pretty good, but it turns out I tend to go off really well on the first lap, and then everything else is just really slow, even though it feels like I'm holding effort consistently. So that's something I need to work on. You're doing a lot of swimming when a bathroom's just decorated with hanging swimming costumes. So as you can tell, I've just been for a swim again. Went for a swim with Mark actually, which is super nice. And didn't really focus on form school at all, and then I turned it on towards the end. I was like, what would happen if I tried to go really wide breathing? And it felt really difficult, like trying to do the old technique that I used to do was actually felt quite hard. So it's good that that new, better technique is actually coming through, and that's the new normal. Also, I've got a cookie to finish with.
So as you can see, a bit of a change of scenery from the UK. It's actually quite warm. I am out in Tenerife and we are here for a busy week of shooting. But I'm just going to squeeze some swims in where I can, really. So luckily, that means it's over to you, Mr. Cameraman.
This is pretty cool. I've not actually seen Belinda swimming for a while now. It's been a good number of weeks and it's definitely looking better. It's just really exciting. So I'm quite excited. I'm going to pull her out now. We're going to have a little catch up and see how she's getting on. Belinda!
Hello!
Firstly, what's going on with this?
I came to match my favourite presenter. But James wasn't here, so
Wow.
only joking.
Good job I didn't wear pink Crocs then.
Well, you're missing out. I don't know.
Very impressed. I was just watching your swimming. Obviously, I haven't seen you for a number of weeks.
Yeah.
And there is a definite improvement.
Yeah.
Just from eyeballing and watching you go past very quickly. Without even just going into the app, how's it feeling?
Yeah, it feels so much smoother, and if I dare to breathe slightly too much, it's like putting the brakes on. Like,
okay.
I am really noticing that difference, which is like so rewarding to be able to see in my form. Not mentioning that, but the score's looking pretty good. So I'm. Are you
feeling
happy.
faster in the water?
Not necessarily faster, but I feel like I'm more engaged with the muscles. I should be. Like my neck isn't so achy when I come out of the pool.
Okay.
It's more like the traps and the lats are engaging.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, super happy.
To be honest, that is what I would expect actually. What's it been? It's been around 6 weeks or so, give or take. And I wouldn't necessarily expect someone to get faster in that time, but if you are feeling like you're using those core muscle groups better and you just feel more in control and stable in the water, that's amazing. That's massive, and I'm sure you will make improvements going forwards. I mean, this isn't the sort of thing you fix overnight. So yeah, well done. All right, then let's dive into the numbers.
Okay.
Because so the main bit that you were focusing on then was your head roll. I think that's the thing that the app identified, and you were sort of wary of before.
Yeah, because I know like when I used to breathe, I was looking all over the place. It was like messy. But yeah, I feel so much more smoother. Like still definitely got a way to go with it. But yeah.
Where did you start then? What was the score it gave you? Because it's 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Or 1 to 100. Yeah. So it gave you a score of
40. Is it 44? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you're up to
64.
Oh wow.
So it's saying my breathing's great, and I'm like, oh, that's quite good. Thank you, Paul. Yeah.
That's huge. That's brilliant.
So
that's
it's a really big improvement. I wasn't expecting it to jump up that much.
Yeah, that's fab. And then obviously there's other bits. We've got the pitch, which, I mean, we sort of said all of it needs a little bit of work, but that was the main one that we were working on. Pitch, that looks like it's sort of around the same, maybe improved slightly.
Yeah, there's like a couple of points like better than it was.
Yeah, so I mean, we normally say work on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Interval pacing. How was that trying out as
well?
Yeah,
really cool. It's like you notice how much you drop off, or how much personally I go fast out and then kind of die on the rest of it. So that was really interesting to see, but it gives you a bit of motivation, like length to length, like, oh, I've got to keep up the pace, otherwise I'm going to disappoint my goggles.
And then obviously with all of that, it then gives you your form score. Is that bumped up?
Yeah, that's bumped up as well.
Good. That's good. That's reassuring. Brilliant.
It's, definitely on the upwards trajectory.
Fantastic. So all in all, it's been a good experience. You're going to keep using it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel I've still got a long way to go, and just want to keep kind of like chipping away and like slowly getting better and keep using it. But I've like also been traveling so much, and I've been struggling a little bit with like trying to get all of the swimming that I want to do in. So now that, you know, hopefully be a bit quieter, I can like properly crack on with.
But also,
improving.
I mean, with that, and I think a lot of people relate, when you are just jumping in and you're trying to squeeze a session in, actually being able to have something to follow, be it a workout in the goggles, or it's giving you some sort of coaching that you can just quickly fire up, focus on, and feel like you're getting some quality from a session.
Yeah, and I'm not just sat there like writing it down on a foggy bit of paper and then trying to like read it.
Do 10 100s or whatever, and just plucking something out. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased to see that. Well, thanks ever so much for taking this on for us. I'm glad you actually enjoyed it, because I was a bit worried I'd given you a task that you were going to dread. But yeah, thanks ever so much to everyone for following along. If you're interested, do go over and check the Form website out. Their new coaching feature is now available. If you already have some goggles, you can actually update those to get this feature on there. Once again, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe.